That would be a honking bird.
This is a 380-pound chicken.
Good morning, beautiful people. A little bit different today than our usual video. We did our chicken processing yesterday, so we wanted to put a little bit in front.
Little disclaimer.
Little disclaimer that you know, we don't like to show a lot, but we do like to show that we're doing something. So we're gonna jump in here for some footage. There's really not anything
you can't see
terribly
what's
gory,
going on.
but some people are very squeamish, and we understand that. So a little warning. And here's how our day went for chicken processing. So as you saw there, we finished it up with some carnitas because we are from California, and I was like, I need to feed a crowd, and I had a pork shoulder, so it was bomb.
Plus, you don't really want to eat chicken day
No.
of processing chicken, so
No.
yeah, carnitas.
Carnitas.
Pork was really good.
So good. It was actually really good. Everybody's like, I need that recipe. That would be great. So it was a great day.
It was a good day.
A lot of fun.
I think the only hang up was the ducks.
Yes.
Ducks took quite a while to pluck because we went a little bit too long.
Yes.
And we probably should have processed about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so what happens is the feathers get really tough. So other than that, the entire day went great.
It did. It was really great. Everybody was in a great mood. The weather, it was hot, but it wasn't awful. And you got that tarp up, and that saved our lives.
Yeah, we've butchered with people before, and we'll have easy ups and shades and stuff. And it's okay, but man, having full shade. Eventually, I would like to build like a great big
structure,
yeah. Like a pole barn, but just a roof,
right?
Like a wood shed, I guess, or something. I'd like to build something like that and set up a permanent place to butcher and place outside to do stuff like that. Everything is sloped, so you don't deal with mud.
That was really nice. We had hardly any mud because
Yep.
everything just goes down right down the hill. So that worked out great. We butchered at 10 weeks just because we had got to 8 weeks and we weren't really happy with what they weighed. And we weighed them kind of week by week towards the end just to see where they were at, knowing that you lose about 20 to 30% when you butcher.
All the offal.
Feathers and whatnot. So we weighed them at 8 weeks and we're like,
these are small birds.
Really small. And then we weighed them last week and we're like, okay, we're happy with this. So by the time we get to butchering, they should be pretty filled out. So we have our numbers. I wrote everything down and what we got out of everything. And we did it by bird because we had both Cornish cross and Murray's Big Red. And I wanted to see the differences. So
this is the numbers part of the vlog.
Yes. So for
us.
anybody who's interested, because I know a lot of people, like you said in a previous vlog, okay, what does it cost? What am I looking at? How's this going to go? What kind of bird am I going to get out of it? All that kind of stuff. And people like to know the numbers. So we like to share that.
Is it worth it?
Right. That was really what we wanted to know, was if it was worth it. We have butchered our own roosters and culls before, but we haven't raised out just specifically meat birds. Yeah. So here we go. So we had 59 birds total. We started out with 20, I think we actually got 26, 27 of each bird, and then 12 ducks. We lost a few, 1 or 2 at the very beginning.
Which, that was day 1 when we got them.
It was stress from travel. I mean, that happens. And then we did lose 2 Cornish cross at the end.
Last week.
Because they're monster chickens.
I think it's just too hot.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. They just keeled over dead.
They did. So we came out at the end with 59 birds. That's the Cornish, the Reds, and the ducks all together. Yep. So 59 birds. We spent $750 in feed. As you and the boys fed them, they would mark which bags were used for meat, so we could keep track of those meat bird feed bags. And we counted them all up at the end, added all the expenses together, and that's what we spent. So $750 in feed.
I actually thought it was going to be a lot higher than that,
Yeah.
seeing how much they eat, because when you get to the end, the last few weeks, those birds can kill a 50-pound bag in a day.
Yeah, and that meat feed, that was 24 bags of feed, 50-pound bags of feed, for people who want to know that number.
And this feed is organic, soy-free, non-GMO. I mean, it's kind of hard to find this stuff where we're at, and so working with Reedy Fork, we're able to find it.
Right.
So it is a little bit higher.
Yeah, it is pricey. You could definitely get feed for a lot cheaper if you're not as concerned about any of the other.
You could go to a local feed mill and pick up, floor sweepings and probably be real good.
Yeah, it's just totally up to you what you want to spend for your feed.
Yep.
So, like I said, 24 bags, 50-pound bags for the 59 birds. So it came out all right. Like you said, it was actually cheaper than we thought it was going to be, which is good. I mean, that's always a plus. Yeah. So with that number and the amount and the number of birds, we took all the weights as everybody got them eviscerated, and I was putting them in the cooler. I was weighing them as they went in, and I weighed out Cornish cross versus Reds. So for the Reds, by the end, we averaged out at about 5 pounds per bird, which I was pretty happy with. I mean, that's a good size
That's
bird.
an average. You know,
Yeah.
we had a couple that were 3 pounds, and then
Right.
like we had the Mac Daddy.
Mac Daddy was almost 7 pounds.
Like he was pick him up and he
was massive.
He's a
So,
tank.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of variation, but average out of all of them was 5 pounds per bird, which is pretty good. And that's about what you're going to get at a grocery store anyways, or a specialty shop, even for a pastured, you know, organic raised bird. And then the reds, they were quite a bit smaller. They averaged out at about 380, which...
so just under 4
or
pounds.
3.8, not 380. That would be a massive bird. That would be a honking bird.
This is a 380 pound chicken.
3.8 pounds. So just under 4. So a little bit smaller. A little bummed about that, but when you look on McMurray's website, they do say to take the reds to 10 to 12 weeks just because they are a slower growing bird.
And honestly, I think we kind of liked them because they're more like a chicken.
Yeah.
They still scratch and do things like...
They weren't quite as gross as the
Cornish
Cornish
cross are just... They're a meat bird.
Yeah. I mean, they are. They're kind of nasty. And then the ducks were really interesting. They weighed out, averaged at 4 3/4 pounds, which is really interesting to me because they were so huge, and we kept thinking, well, cool. I mean, if the ducks are going to be so much bigger for the same amount of time and same amount of feed, well, maybe we'll just raise ducks from the beginning. And it wound up being that they weren't really any bigger.
They weren't that much bigger.
By the time you get all the feathers and everything off of them. And they were so hard to pluck, which again, could be timing.
From what I've read, like doing the jumbo Peking, it says try to do them before they completely feather out.
Right.
At 8 weeks, they were ready.
Yeah.
And we just let everybody go to 10 weeks, so...
Because the chickens weren't ready yet.
The chickens weren't ready. And I think if we'd done them earlier, in the past 2 weeks, they went from, you know, most of their feathers to completely feathered out.
They did. And when we weighed them at 8 and 9 weeks, between those different wait times, they didn't really actually gain much.
Yeah.
Whereas the meat birds had gained a whole nother 1.5 pounds.
Yep.
So they really did top out at about 8 weeks. And we didn't get much more than just the meat birds, which was really interesting and kind of a bummer, but it was nice to know. So with those weights and knowing what we spent on feed, and then we've added in the price per chick when you buy it, it comes out to about $15.50 a bird for the meat birds.
So that's buying them, buying the feed, everything that goes along with them.
Right.
It's kind of pricey per bird.
It is, but when I go to like Earth Fare or Whole Foods and I buy an organic pasture raised, you know, fancy chicken, it's about $15 to $20. Sometimes
like
more.
$25 to $30.
And sometimes, you know, for a chicken.
Like not even a one meal chicken.
Right. So compared to what you would get on the market for an actual comparable bird, like you're not going to compare this to Walmart, obviously, because you're not going to get the same bird, but for an organic pastured chicken, the price is comparable. And what I liked about it was we knew exactly how our birds were treated.
We knew what they ate. How they fertilized our yard.
Yeah,
like,
they did.
We hauled them around this whole place. They ate grass. They ate bugs.
Right.
They did chicken things.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how those birds lived.
Yeah, there was a lot more benefit to it than just going to the store and buying, you know, a whole mess of birds. And, I mean, honestly, I can't go to the store and buy that many birds in one shot, like budget-wise. Like, it's not going to happen. So to be able to stretch it out, you know, the budget over the 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and then be able to put a whole mess of birds in our freezer was really cool. And then the ducks came out to just over $20 a bird, which I mean, I don't really buy duck at the store very often, so I don't have a good comparison.
It's hard to find.
It is. But I'm assuming that that's probably about right for the same equivalent of a duck. All in all, we got 264 pounds
of chicken
of meat in our freezer. Obviously that includes bones and stuff, but for whole birds, and that came out to about $2.84 a pound, which is not bad.
$2.84 a pound.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
It's not bad.
You go to a fancy butcher shop and buy good stuff like that, you can pay $10 a pound.
Yeah, sometimes. So we were pretty happy with it. So what about things that we learned or would do different or?
So I don't know if I like the chicken tractors, the Salatin style. We did like a mini tractor.
Yeah. And we had 25 plus half of the ducks in each.
25 plus 6 ducks.
Yeah.
At the end, it was getting a little cramped, but they could all still move around.
Yeah. But they were kind of cramped to the point where me personally, I was like, I really wish they had more room.
For me, I don't think I'll do the tractors again.
Yeah.
Whatever we build, I want it to be on wheels. I want it to be easier for me and the kids to move.
Yeah.
And then up off the ground just enough so you don't smash chickens. Like,
right. I mean, nobody got seriously hurt, but you know, you kind of bump them and they.
There's every now and then if you're, it's hot and you're moving the chicken tractor too fast and some straggler gets his leg stuck and then you have to go free
him. Lift it up and free him.
But yeah, the chicken tractor, I think, we'll work on that. We'll change what we're doing.
Yeah.
We might do one more batch in those just because I won't have time to make new ones.
Right.
But eventually we're going to get away from that style.
Yeah.
Plus, we need something that's a little bit better on hills.
Right.
Because we are so sloped with all of our hills. There's some places we can't set the tractors because the ground goes like this and you've got a giant hole.
The tractors themselves are a good design, but they're better suited for a flat area, which we don't really have any flat area out here. So we're gonna find something that's gonna work better for our land.
Yep.
And for how we want to move them and stuff. Like the boys were in charge of keeping the meat birds moved and fed and watered and all that, and they did a great job. But there were a lot of things that we saw that was like, okay, I feel like this could be easier.
This could be easier on 13-year-old boys.
Right, exactly. And then as far as the chicken processing, I think that actually went really well. We had Art and Bree come help, and then we had our friends Bill and Dawn. They came and helped, and they brought their chicken plucker and scalders and stuff like that. It's just stuff that we hadn't had a chance to accumulate ourselves. You're planning to build a chicken plucker, obviously
I have everything sitting down in the barn. I just have to put it all together and build a chicken plucker, and I'll YouTube it. Like I'll film it, and like you guys will see that. But it's just like
mobile home is priority right now.
Mobile home is priority. We're so close.
It was like, let's just when our friends were like, hey, we've got the chicken plucker, we can bring it. We're like, yes, that would be fabulous. That would be great. So they were great, a huge help.
It was cool. This is the first time we've ever done a batch of meat birds.
Yeah.
We've butchered for other people, like
a bunch,
quite a few birds in the past few years.
Yeah.
But this is the first time it was on our land.
Yeah.
With our chickens. Like it was cool.
It was really cool.
Technically, I think we're supposed to start another batch right now.
Yes, but we have a baby coming.
We have a baby coming, so we're gonna.
I'm not butchering in labor. That's not happening.
Well, yeah, they probably would be ready.
They would whenever this kid shows up. That's how it goes. Like they would be ready, and then the baby would be like, "Hey, I'm coming now."
So we're gonna skip this go around, and after the baby shows up, we'll do another batch for fall.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with how the day went, how the whole process went. Like we said, there's things we could do better or improve on for sure, but it was good.
It was good.
And it was a really fun day hanging out with friends, and I mean, it's alwa's good when you get
good fellowship,
get
good friends, good conversation, and good food.
Good food. It was really good food. So that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah? All right. It was successful. We enjoyed it. We were happy to share the numbers with you guys for anybody who's like, we want to raise meat birds, but we don't know if it's worth it. I feel like it was worth it.
I feel like it was worth it.
Yeah, for, like I said, comparison to what you could get in the store.
It's cheaper.
I have a bunch of meat in my freezer in one shot.
Yep.
And I know where this meat came from and what it was fed and everything. So I think it was cool. All right?
Yep.
Cool. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.